What would I do if I had more time?
Wow.
If I had more time, I'd call my grandma back. I miss her.
I'd go straight to the studio and dance my little heart out.
I would take up the guitar again because I have always wanted to be a rock star.
I would love to spend more time laughing.
I'd empower women to move.
I would do more of what I want to do and less of what I have to do.
If I had more time, I'd give it all to her.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
If I had more time.
In 2008, at the age of 37, I suffered a heart attack, and I never saw it coming.
At 10, I was diagnosed with dilated cardiomyopathy, and at 22, I had a heart transplant.
Thanks to research funded by the American Heart Association,
So many of us have been given more time.
more time with our families, more time with our dreams, and more time to accomplish the things that cardiovascular disease tried to take from us.
And we're not going anywhere.
Count on LEX 18 News.
Coming up, a former Scott County Sheriff's deputy will have his case heard before the state Supreme Court. We'll have the latest.
Plus, House Republicans have begun their impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. We'll hear from both sides of the aisle.
And the government is less than 48 hours from shutting down. We'll get the latest on what's holding things up in Congress. The new half hour of LEX 18 News at Sunrise begins right now. Good morning. It is Friday, September 29th. I'm Michael Burke.
I'm Evelyn Schultz, meteorologist. Tom Ackerman is also here. I'm so happy we made it to Friday. That was the first thing that popped into my mind this morning when I woke up. I just thought, Friday.
You just had a good breakfast, too.
And I had a good breakfast. I had waffles and sausage. So if you see any...
Wow.
I know, I really...
Holding out on us.
It's Frou Frou Friday.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I'm fancy, because it's Frou Frou Friday. We coined that.
You know what's tomorrow?
Catterday?
It is Catterday.
Well, it's Catterday, yeah, but what else?
Last day of September.
Yeah, it's October 1st.
Sunday is October 1st.
Or wait.
Yeah, Sunday.
What day is today?
Today's the 29th.
I've been off for 2 days.
That's what 2 days
My
off
calendar's off whack.
Yeah.
This weekend's October, right?
At some point this weekend, it will be October.
At some point, it'll be October. We got that established. And one sign that October's on the way, sometimes here, the harvest moon. And look at that. It's setting in the early morning sky. We'll talk about that coming up. And yeah, we do transition into October this weekend, but it's not going to feel much like late September or October. It's going to feel more like an extension of summer because we've still got above normal warmth coming our way. This after we dry out after the recent rain. It is 10 miles visibility in Lexington, and you head north or south, and you've got some areas of dense fog. So we'll talk about that. Visibility could be problematic for you. No surprise with the recent rain that we've seen. But the future track shows that cloud cover gradually thinning out. And the good news is by later on today, I think we'll end up mostly sunny. So we've got a pretty good setup going into the weekend. High pressure will be in control. Beautiful weather for Catterday for the Cats taking on the Gators tomorrow. We'll check that forecast out as well. We're in the 50s and 60s now. And yeah, by the end of the weekend, we could be into the low 80s. And then next week, we might get into the mid 80s. Our normal high is now all the way down to the mid 70s. So that's up there. That's some excessive warmth for this time of the year. We'll see if there is any sign of fall on the way anytime soon coming up.
The state Supreme Court will hear an appeal from a former Scott County Sheriff's deputy who was paralyzed after an officer's firearm hit him.
Jamie Morales was wounded when he and a group of law enforcement officers tried to make an arrest 5 years ago. Morales later sued the city, the police department, and 2 officers, claiming the special response team involved in the arrest did not have enough training. A circuit court judge ruled Morales couldn't sue because of qualified immunity, but the Supreme Court announced yesterday they will hear arguments for Morales' appeal soon. Morales' longtime attorney, Tom Miller, says they have 60 days to file their brief. They're seeking damages to help compensate Morales for the shooting that left him paralyzed.
All we are asking is that the court allow us to recover if we can establish that negligence occurred, which resulted in Jamie being shot by a fellow officer.
We reached out to the Georgetown Police Department and the city of Georgetown for a response to the Supreme Court's handling of this case, but we have not yet heard back. The Republican-led House Oversight Committee holds its first hearing regarding its impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced the opening of a formal impeachment inquiry earlier this month. Yesterday's hearing focused on what the committee has uncovered regarding President Biden's alleged knowledge of and role in his family's domestic and international business practices. In opening statements, Committee Chairman James Comer of Kentucky presented what he calls a, quote, mountain of evidence. Democratic ranking member Jamie Raskin of Maryland criticized Republicans for launching a, quote, Trump-ordered impeachment process. Comer is leading the inquiry.
My goal is to follow the money. When I announced this investigation, I didn't say we were going to impeach Joe Biden. Now, there are members of the committee that said to impeach. There are people on Judiciary Committee like Ken Buck that said we'll never impeach. Now, the question is Joe Biden compromised because of the family's shady business dealings?
Yet back in the reality-based world, the majority sits completely empty-handed with no evidence of any presidential wrongdoing, no smoking gun, no smoke.
Now, to be clear, this is not a full impeachment trial, but rather an inquiry looking at information gathered by the committee that they suggest points to wrongdoings on the part of the president. However, one of the witnesses picked by the Republican majority, law professor Jonathan Turley, said that he does not believe that the current evidence would support articles of impeachment, but he does believe it warrants an inquiry. With less than 48 hours to go now before the U.S. government runs out of funding, the White House is preparing for the worst.
John Lawrence reports some senior staffers in the White House have started learning how to do the jobs of their junior aides who will be furloughed if the shutdown happens.
Washington, D.C. has until Saturday night to figure out a way to prevent the government from running out of money. And if that happens,
I think it's unlikely that a shutdown would directly push us into recession, but it is certainly not helpful.
Since 1976, the U.S. has had 20 federal funding gaps. Most of them happened when one party wasn't in control of the White House, the House, and the Senate, and that's the current situation.
A government shutdown is just yet another drag on the economy because it ends up disrupting lots of supply chains and lots of services.
Another effect of a shutdown would be active military members and border control agents being forced to work without pay.
A government shutdown is a worst case scenario for the department, so we continue to ask Congress to do its job and fund the government.
The GOP-led House passed numerous spending bills Thursday night, including one for the State Department, but none of them will avert a shutdown, and the clock is ticking.
There's people that are talking, but it's, as I stated, it's the same bunch on both sides, and until leadership wants to walk down there and talk to them, it's just not going to happen.
And both sides remain split.
The Republicans want to shut down the government because they want to cut Social Security, slash public school funding, and criminalize abortion care.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And in just a couple of hours, dozens will take over Kentucky State University to raise breast cancer awareness.
This year is the 4th annual 3K Breast Cancer Walk Run put on by local nonprofit Crystal Blossom, Inc. LEX 18's Christiana Ford is live at Kentucky State in Frankfort this morning. She's got a look at what's happening today and the story behind the race. Christiana, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. As you guys know, we're storytellers, and oftentimes with events like these, there's always stories behind why they do what they do, and there's definitely a story here. This event, this breast cancer walk and run, was put on by a group of sorority sisters because one of their sisters was battling an aggressive form of breast cancer, and her name was Crystal. And that's exactly where we are today. You can see her on the sign behind us. She's the inspiration for Crystal Blossom, Inc. And we're joined now by Cecilia, one of her sorority sisters, who's going to tell us a little bit about Crystal.
So Crystal actually went to Kentucky State University. She was a graduate of 1991. She was a phenomenal woman. She was a social worker for the Department of the Veteran Department in Louisville, Kentucky. Crystal was a giver, even when she was going through her own illness. wellness. She was always still trying to help other ladies who were also battling breast cancer. So anyone that ever met Crystal, you could see that she had a good heart. She was just a good person.
Yeah, you can definitely feel, the impact that she had this whole race because of that. And I also want to bring in Devi. Devi's going to tell us a little bit about the impact that you hope that this event will have.
Well, I hope that we can get awareness out to more women. This disease is impacting us a lot. So we just want more people to be aware of this deadly disease.
Yeah. And this race/walk starts at 7 this morning here at Kentucky State. We're at the Alumni Stadium. And it's not too late to donate. The proceeds go to the U of L Brown Cancer Center. You can donate still to this organization. Today is not the only day you can do that. So if you want to do that or help them with their scholarship fund, make sure you take that opportunity. But for now, live in Frankfort, Christiana Ford, LEX 18 News.
It's a great cause, and they should have decent weather for that walk run this morning.
Yeah, looking pretty good, especially compared to the rainy weather we've had the last couple of days. We'll check out what's going on this morning and this weekend.
And later on Sunrise, a slowdown in air travel this fall means lower airfares for you.
But for just how long will that last? That story coming up later this morning as LEX 18 News at Sunrise continues right after this.
Niall thinks he's the king, but they better watch out.
Apologize for their antics.
You're going to get used to apologizing for us.
The Voice, new Monday and Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
We find missing people who have slipped through the cracks, and we bring them home. I will do anything to bring people home. New case.
We make quite the partnership, don't we? Found Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
It's about to be a party in here. BetMGM's got all the sports betting in one place. And it's live, baby. We're placing money lines in real time. We got second half spreads and third set winners as they happen. Overs hitting in extra innings. Live is where the action is at. Can we get these people a promo? There it is.
Around here, you'll see more Ford F-Series on the road than any other brand. You see, they've been the best-selling trucks 46 years running for a lot of different reasons. Like more capability, more innovation, more toughness. Basically, more of everything you need in a full-size pickup. To test drive the truck that gives you a lot more for your hard-earned money, visit your local Ford store today, where there's always more in store.
Why is this man so happy? He's got Advantage Checking from Community Trust Bank. CTB's got him covered with credit monitoring and identity theft protection, cellular phone replacement and repair, roadside assistance service, and travel and leisure discounts. And with his Advantage Plus interest checking, he'll never pay a CTB ATM fee no matter where he uses it. So be happy. Get Advantage Checking from Community Trust Bank.
Inside Edition, weekdays at 4:30 on LEX 18.
If you go outside this morning and think maybe you left the porch light on or something, no, that's the culprit more than likely. It's a full moon, and it is slowly setting over Lexington early this morning. Notice it's also somewhat obscured by low cloud cover and fog. It is the full harvest moon. It's officially full just before 6 a.m. and sets at 7:37 this morning. And it's the fourth and final supermoon of 2023. Supermoon just means the moon's making its closest approach to the Earth, so it appears a little bigger, a little brighter than normal. And that's it for this year. And we've got visibility that is down due to that fog, and could definitely be an issue for you to view the supermoon this morning. 2 miles in Frankfort, 2 miles down to Monticello. There's a dense fog advisory. Southern Indiana, Ohio, and along the Ohio River, clipping our northern counties. So watch out for that low visibility, but the rain is over. We're done with that. We did pick up a decent shot of precipitation, and now as that wave of low pressure washes out, we're done with it. The last 24 hours, rainfall, that's rapidly dropping off as we get farther away from the event, but we've picked up just shy of an inch of rain now for the month. month. So, yeah, it was good soaking, about 0.6 of an inch. We had heavier amounts into our southern counties, but we're still running an over 2-inch rainfall deficit. That's the problem that you get into whenever you get into a drought. It's hard to dig your way back out of it. And this does not assist in that endeavor because we'll get into another extended dry stretch this weekend into next week. Beautiful weather, really feeling a little more summery than fall, but it's more dry days that we're racking up. So that low washes out. We're done with it. High pressure's in control. That means sunshine this weekend. That means we're in good shape as that high just kind of ridges all the way down from New England states into the Ohio River Valley and then back points further south and west. We're looking good. We've got sunshine and gradually warming highs. So for the Cats taking on the Gators tomorrow out at Kroger Field, they're back home again. We'll be in the upper 70s, around 80, the max high into the afternoon with mostly sunny skies throughout the day. So a really good day for a game. Just sunscreen it up. 63 in Lexington now, and our high temperature trend stays elevated. Our normal high is now down to 76, so we are still seeing no sign of fall anytime soon. And in fact, we could have consistent highs about 10 degrees above normal throughout much of next week. But at least the mugginess is in check. The humidity's still down, so it's not, swampy out there by any stretch. But this could even be near record heat. You can see it building, that almost fuchsia color of well above normal highs spiking across the upper Midwest. We are in this bubble of above normal warmth next week. But look what happens at the end of the week and end of the weekend. You got a cold front coming in, some shower and storm chances you'll see in your 8-day, and the potential, although it's not a clear shot yet, there are signs out there that we may actually have a below normal shot of cooler air coming in and just maybe a hint of fall for that following weekend. So fingers crossed, if you're a fall lover, we'll have that holding as we get close to the end of next week. That's still a ways out there. 77 for the high in Cynthiana and Paris today. 79 in Lawrenceburg. Eastern counties, mid to upper 70s, showing 76 in Flemingsburg, 76 in Moorhead, and mid-70s for West Liberty. Pikeville, 76, 80 in Manchester in the Lakes region, anywhere from 79 in Liberty to 79 in Williamsburg to around 80 back in Columbia and Adair County there. It's just a really nice way to start off the weekend. And a good-looking weekend ahead. But yeah, dry days, sunny days, warmer days. There's that rain chance and that cool down potentially getting going the end of next week.